You get your kicks flying too close to stars? Because you're putting out some interesting radiation. Sounds like you're just the type of pilot the Vanguard's looking for.
You might be Freestar Ranger material.
Give it your all out there. Supra et Ultra.
Don't mess with me!
You think you're just gonna walk up here and get us to surrender?
You killed a Terramorph. Holy shit.
So tell me, stranger, how do I know you're gonna deal straight with us?
Make us look good out there, recruit.
Welcome back, everybody, to a Starfield Report podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax. How you doing, Jax?
I'm doing wonderful this morning. Good morning, everybody.
And I'm doing good as well. And that's because Jax, is Starfield dead or alive?
It's alive.
It's alive. I had fun with AI turning Constellation crew members into zombies or Frankensteins. little peg things on their neck here, but a little slightly off center. But I think we're good, right? We're good. Our episode last week we talked about all the Microsoft layoffs and all that, and the impact on Bethesda.
Yeah.
And I mean, at face value, if you just saw the title of the podcast or show, you'd be like, well, Starfield. Some people are like, yeah, it's dead. Yay, it's dead. And other people were like, no, it's not dead. The reality is it's not dead because it's a single-player game we're going to be able to play forever. So single-player
That was
game
our whole.
can't die.
That was the whole point of last week's video. Was that it's a single-player game. I can play it whenever I want. It's never going to be dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then how people they took the Microsoft announcement of all the layoffs and firings and automatically assumed that meant Starfield was not going to receive any new content.
No more support. It was just going to wither on the vine and
die.
Yeah, Bethesda would move forward.
Well, there was the interpretation based on how Microsoft and Xbox said the games that it wanted Bethesda to focus on. Now, just because they say focus on doesn't mean they're not going to do anything for any of the other games.
Right.
And
that's what we said last week. If I'm mowing the lawn, doesn't mean I'm not going to come back and do the dishes. I'm just focused on mowing the lawn.
Exactly. And then, of course, one data point we didn't think to cover was hiring. Just because they laid off 4,800 employees doesn't mean they're not going to rehire, because a lot of times when you have a company do top to bottom structure change, they're going to come in and hire new blood, new talent.
There's that, and it's a way to renegotiate somebody's contract when you're trying to get rid of some bloat. Like we had talked about the one lady that had been there for 27 years, right?
Yeah.
And every couple of years, she goes to the boss and says, hey, I'm of value to the company. I bring a lot to the table. I think I deserve a raise. And you do that for 27 years. And next thing you know, you're making $200,000 a year as a dev. And they start looking at that going, we're going to have to let you go along with 500 other people. And then as everybody's walking out the door, they grab her by the arm and pull her over to the side and go, hey, we can offer you 180, but I can't keep you on for your value, right? Let's renegotiate. We'd still like you here.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to bring you back in, and change the payroll structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's how we're going to be profitable again. I mean, it's when talking money always sucks because it's not sexy. It's kind of gross and but you got to do it. It's only recently have I grown up enough to have the backbone to go to the boss and say, hey, look, I've been here for a long time. I've been making the same for a long time. Eggs are more. I think I deserve more.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
it just comes down to the fact that I'm not trying to put you in a spot, but I got to feed my family too. So
Yep.
I have to be profitable. If I look at my household as a company, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I got to cut waste where I can, right? I don't need to overpay for insurance for the car. Plus, I need to maximize my revenue stream, which is going to the boss and saying, hey, look, I need more.
Yeah.
Am I of value? I've showed you what I can do. I'm still here. Am I of value?
Yeah. And that's if it's a small indie team or a startup company, and I'm sure Bethesda at one point was small enough where the number of employees that was less of an issue. But
Hmm.
but once a company gets larger,
Well, that's,
the company's gonna change to that. And
I don't know if
yeah,
we talked about it or not, but I started thinking about this yesterday as I was kind of mentally preparing for the program today. That, yeah, there's a lot of people gone,
mhm,
but they also told us there was a lot of middle management also that they were trying to get rid of, right? Or
yeah,
trying to debloat, to shrink, right? To
yeah.
make things move faster.
Yeah, you had talked
So,
about that briefly last week, where it's like the one guy wants to make a change and has to go through 10 people before it gets to Todd
right,
Howard, and then makes it way back down, and
right.
yeah,
So if you've got all those people in all those different studios and a lot of them are in the middle management area, so you've got multiple people in multiple positions doing the same thing.
mhm,
It sounds like they got rid of a lot of people, but if they prioritized who they got rid of and said, okay, for this studio, we need these 5 devs. We don't need the 5 devs and the 5 devs assistants and the assistants assistants
mhm.
and the assistant junior manager and the manager and the regional junior manager and the regional manager, right? You start stripping away some of those layers of onions and you get down to the core team that's doing the stuff,
Yeah,
right?
mhm.
So how many people do you need once the game's done? How many people do you need to support this Starfield thing that you got going on there, Mr. Howard? Oh,
Yeah,
well, I mean, we had 500 develop the game. Now what we're doing is we're doing DLCs and quality control for the creations that our fans are making. So I need 30 people. Okay, that's a big jump from 500 down to 30, right?
yeah. Because obviously, developing the game, I imagine, is going to take a lot of people, and then once the
Right. And
game's
these are
fully
just numbers
developed
I'm picking out of
out,
my butt,
yeah.
but they're
So,
just to make the point,
mhm,
to illustrate the point of maybe there's more there than
yeah. Well,
us on the
if you
outside.
have a development team, and then you've got like a smaller maintenance team, and the development team, once the game is launched,
Hmm.
then that development team of a larger number of people moves on to the next game, Elder
So would
Scrolls
you
6.
say that the maintenance team is not the focus of the studio, but it's still there?
Hmm. That's what I would say.
It sounds like a good PR to say, hey, we are focusing on these things.
Yep.
Doesn't mean we're throwing everything else out. So
Yeah.
anyway, we got some great news, right?
Yep. Yep. So good news.
So
Let's
we
go
read to
ahead.
the people exactly what they say.
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen and read the section specifically on Starfield. Obviously, they talk about all their games, so you guys, we'll put a link in the show notes for you guys to follow this. But I'll read it here.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've got a note from Bethesda Game Studios, and they cover all kinds of stuff here. But specifically, we'll read the Starfield section. With over 17 million players logging almost a billion hours to date, Starfield remains an important part of our future. As we enter year 3, we will continue expanding the settled systems with new stories, targeted gameplay improvements, and additional updates, while preparing for the launch of new Starborn content next year. Now, that is referring to the oftentimes rumored Starborn DLC.
DLC.
Okay.
Hmm.
More than 40% of players already customize the experience through creations, and will continue investing in creators and giving players new ways to make Starfield their own. So basically, the way I see it is you're gonna go ahead and end your share there. Um, Creations is going to be a continuous revenue stream for
Right. Which is
uh,
kind of the point.
yeah, And so
As gross as it sounds, that's
you're
their way to monetize the game. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, no, it's yeah. I mean, yeah. Some people think it's gross. I don't think it is because you know it, you've got diehard fans to Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, obviously Fallout, now Starfield. Those people want to make content for the game out of love for it, and they also can profit off of it because they spend a ton of hours doing it. Now, if it's a little simple mod where it takes an hour to make something, I mean, I don't know. Are you going to charge for that? Not necessarily. Now, granted, you charge if you want an achievement friendly version, which that's what we'll do with our mods. Is we'll have um, definitely some free mods and then an achievement friendly one, which costs $1. But if it's a larger mod that's more involved,
Hmm.
we're gonna charge a little more for that. And then I don't know if maybe like after it's been out for so long, we could maybe drop it to free, something like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But the creations is going to keep Starfield community going for a long time. It's even though Fallout and Skyrim, it's been literally years since there's been anything official. Fallout 4 and Skyrim, anything official from Bethesda for both of those games. The creations are still going strong. Modders are continuing to do stuff. Is it less modders than it was 3 or 4 years ago? Of course. But there's plenty of content on creations and modders continuing to pump out for all those games, and there's going to be for quite a long period of time. So
Yeah. And I was just watching some stuff on YouTube, and one of our guys, King Fan Man, uh, had a couple of videos out that had some mods that he was recommending. These are paid creation mods because they are going to be a quest driven mod, basically almost like an additional faction quest line. So you're going to have 8 or 10 quest chains tied together to the mod for you to go experience this whole storyline.
yeah,
And is that worth it to you for $5 to $10? On the $10 side, it better be good.
yeah,
Better be Watchtower good, right?
yeah. Watchtower,
But
Dark
for
Star,
$5,
yeah,
if I could get a couple of hours and some new places to go visit, new scenery, maybe a new skin on a gun, or maybe a different gun, or a player home, right?
yeah,
A lot of these have all that, and there's excuse me, in our mod recommendations list, on our Discord. If you guys are interested, go check it out. I've got the list there with the name of the mod and the name of the author, so you can take those two pieces of information, go to creations, either look up the mod author and see what all they've created. There's one called the Milk Artist. He's got 8 or so that are big mods. Zone 79's really big in the modding scene. He does a lot of skins, but he's also done a couple of quest mods. The point I'm making is all of these mods are paid, and as long as there's revenue, as long as the mod author's getting paid and they're satisfied with their cut, that they can continue creating the content. And Bethesda has to go through and quality assure that it's not going to brick your console and it's not going to crash the game every 3 minutes. So make sure you're doing quality work in your mods that you're delivering to them. Somebody has to pay those quality control people. So if the revenue stream is big enough, there's no reason not to support a quality control team. It's when the amount of creations created monthly, let's say, shrinks down to enough that there's not enough content coming in from creators to pay quality control workers to look at it, then that's a net loss for the company as opposed to a net gain.
yeah. And at the very least, creations revenue is probably what is helping maintain quality control people.
Mm-hmm.
And as the maintenance team kind of dwindles, as the game, and this would apply to any game, but if there's a maintenance team that's staying on top of bugs and doing little fixes, it can reach a point where Bethesda's no longer making DLC themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
No longer officially doing anything for the game other than taking care of bugs. and that small team they would take care of bugs and they would maintain the creations. So at that point,
Yeah.
you might have 5 guys or
Sure.
gals,
Sure. Right.
and they're just maintaining the game at that point. And I guarantee you, like the revenues. I mean, well, I don't know. Obviously, they have to watch the revenue stream of creations, and they see all that on the back end. They know if like okay, creations were making, 600,000 a month on creations. Yeah, we can afford to keep,
And
a few people on for 80, 90,000 a year.
I just looked at the the Skyrim creation page for the first time in quite a while.
Mhm.
Surprise, surprise, it looks just exactly like the Starfield creation page.
Yeah.
So why would you not have Starfield, Fallout, Fallout 4,
Mhm.
Fallout 3, Fallout 2, or well, 3, 4 and 3,
Yeah.
right? And the Skyrim and all of them that are under that same umbrella, you've got one team. Instead of just 5 guys for Starfield, you have maybe 15 guys for all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Or
for
10 guys
overall
like
all creations for all games.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're the
Yeah.
creations,
Yeah.
multiple
That's
quality
probably
control team.
yeah. That's probably how they handle it. And then maybe they'll
And that
have those guys be in
again reduces
sub
float. So
teams.
you don't have 10 people on each team, you have 6 people on each team, which then turns into right 18 instead of 30.
Yeah.
So you've taken out 30% or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know the numbers exactly how all that works, but you can see the point. You can see where we're going. We're just trying. We need the company to be profitable if we want to continue having the company.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my guys at work. Hey, guys, if you guys want to keep a job, you're going to do quality work because we need to have customers come in the door.
Mhm.
We need to have our insurance partners happy with us. So you can't think of these people as the enemy. You need to think of these people as our friends and as our partners.
Yep.
So we got to work with them, not against them, in order, if you want that door to stay open. I know this is not your company, but you are a big part of what keeps the doors open. So
Yeah.
work with us.
Yeah. So uh, all that is to say, Starfield's fine. It's not going anywhere. It's not dead.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have plenty of content until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, and then we'll stop Starfield content.
Well, even then,
Ish. Stop
so
ish.
we morph from being the Starfield report to being something else. We'll decide what we call it.
Yeah.
But the next game comes out, it's going to be the Elder Scrolls 6, and so we're going to be covering that really heavy. But oh, look at that. There's a couple of new mods that are really cool. Well, next week, let's talk a little bit about the new Starfield mods. We can mix those in at the tail end of the episode while we're talking about the new quest that we're doing on Elder Scrolls 6. And I played a little Starfield this week. Guess what? Check this out. And so our channel will morph a little bit as it goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. That was something we were
We
talking
never
about.
know
We
what you don't
recorded.
know.
We were not sure if we were gonna. And we'll figure it out as we get closer to that point. But as Elder Scrolls 6 starts picking up, however many years out that is, we'll thought was like, do we launch an entirely new podcast under a new RSS feed, or do we just change the name of this one to keep our fans? Because I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that 80-90% of the people listening to this podcast are probably gonna play Elder Scrolls 6. So at
And
that point,
then
it's like we can just roll that
Fallout
audience
5
over.
comes out.
Yeah.
Because we may get New Vegas, because further on down here in this same post that I shared with you guys,
Hmm.
it talks about Fallout 5 and New Vegas remake and Fallout 3 remake.
Hmm.
It talks about Elder Scrolls 6 and gives some timelines.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if we got the New Vegas remake before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Yeah. We will. We
We
will
got
definitely get the
Fallout
New
3.
Vegas remake because that a lot of game
I've not
companies are
played
doing that.
through New Vegas completely. I got through a lot of it and then lost interest somewhere. Something happened. Maybe Skyrim came out or something. I don't remember exactly what happened. Something happened and pulled
Mhm.
my attention away from it, and I never went back. And then you get kind of I don't know, what is it? get accustomed to the new tech,
Yeah.
the prettier, shinier thing, and then you go try to, look at the old thing, and it's just not as good. It's hard to get into it. After playing Skyrim, it's hard to play Oblivion, or after playing Fallout 4, it's hard to play Fallout 3,
Hmm.
just because of the animations and the graphics is a little difficult, a little janky.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to play New Vegas again because
Well,
it's got a ton of DLC, right?
yeah, there's like 4 or 5 major DLCs for it.
Yeah.
I would say it plays closest like 3 more than 4
Hmm.
because basically what happened is Obsidian took the Fallout 3 stuff,
Right.
pulled that over, added some stuff. I think they added the traits, which were
Yeah.
they gave you like a perk, or they gave you some benefits, but also some drawbacks, just like the traits in Starfield. Um, and so, if a lot of studios are doing that right now, like or well, not Bungie, Microsoft, whatever they renamed the studio. I can't remember what they call it. It when Bungie left, Microsoft, took ownership of Halo. They started up 343 Studios to handle all things Halo, but they renamed the studio recently into something else. And they're launching they're doing a remaster of Halo, the first Halo, which was properly called Halo Combat Evolved. So this one's called Halo Campaign Evolved. And I've seen some of uh, the 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 gameplay footage of it, and
Mhm.
I mean, based on pictures, just the graphics are just stunning.
It
But
looks like the
the
new modern Halo games.
but some of the animations of the Marines that run around Master Chief,
Hmm.
the animations to me looked a little janky and not
Well,
as smooth. But just other than
the
that, it's beautiful looking.
the Oblivion remake
Hmm.
was it was really cool.
Yeah.
I probably would have played longer if I didn't have the responsibilities here with Starfield and making sure that I keep up with what's going on here because that came out, and then we had Free Lanes come out, right?
Hmm. Terra
And
Namada and
so
all
it was
that.
like,
Yeah.
well, I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about when I start talking about this new stuff. So I'm going to have to set this other one to the side. And so I did it on Game Pass, not knowing if it was something that I was going to play the whole thing through, but I can afford $20 to check it out for a month and see how it plays. And if it keeps my interest, then I go and I buy the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I already own the game on a disc. Oh, and we can talk about the digitizing also a little bit too. I got some more information on that. Sorry to squirrel off
Oh
there.
no, 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 that's
But
all right.
um but yeah, so if they could do the same thing, Fallout 3 and for Fallout New Vegas and just update the not necessarily the engine, but the graphics to make it
Hmm.
look more pleasant, run more smoothly, and just be a little more visually pleasing without changing the under the hood, the
Yeah.
inventory control and stuff like that. Maybe they make a few little tweaks here and there, whatever. But for the basic, premise, you're playing the old game on new graphics. That's all I want. I want to try that. That's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Well, now, so they are going to make a remaster of New Vegas, but then also Microsoft is giving Obsidian the task of making a new Fallout game, right?
Yes.
So now,
And they rehired the director from Fallout New Vegas.
okay,
So talk
now,
about letting people go and rehiring people. There you go.
yeah. So Fallout. Now, is it going to be Fallout 5 or is it going to be like an offshoot game like New Vegas, like a New Vegas 2 or something? Like, do we know that?
I think it's not been expressly vocalized to me to my clarity,
You mean Todd
but I
hasn't called
think
you?
no, Todd did not call and reference me on the call there to the board. But um, if I think the general thought is going to be that Bethesda Game Studios retains Fallout 5, and they're pretty much told, hey, cut the bloat, get on this. This is a hot product, get it out now. And so I think what that does is that
Hmm.
squeezes some of the folks from Starfield or from Elder Scrolls over to, so it may slow down Elder Scrolls a little bit because they're trying to strike while the iron's hot to get
Yeah.
some Fallout stuff out. And at the same time, we're going to have a shoot off from Obsidian with a new, like we said last week, is it going to be called Fallout Vegas, New Vegas 2? Probably
Yeah.
not. It, whether it continues that storyline, because Obsidian already knows that inside out. It's their thing. They knew what all the motivations were writing it, so they can
Well,
continue that storyline.
and to be fair, I'm a very bad Bethesda fan because I still have not watched season 2 of Fallout on Prime on Amazon. However, that that is considered canon. So, and I know it takes place at least in part in the New Vegas area, right?
Yep.
So imagine New Vegas 2 taking the plot line or some of those characters and maybe doing it in such a way it doesn't screw the writers of the show for season 3, but some of the side characters that they can just go on this adventure for the New Vegas 2 game and go, heck, even the main characters, maybe you wouldn't play as them, but what if and I'm totally brain farting on all the characters names, but what if the ghoul makes an appearance in New Vegas 2? And again, I don't know how season 2 goes in the show, but the ghoul Walter Groggins, he shows up in New Vegas 2 as an NPC. He's got a quest for you, or he's a follower on a quest. I would really like to see a New Vegas 2 where they incorporate the show, and then and imagine that. I would almost rather not see a New Vegas remaster, and I want to see him go straight to New Vegas 2, because then if you're going to spend all the time making the city pretty again, or polishing up the city and making it all look beautiful and new with the modern graphics, that because it's been 2011, I think, so 15 years. Yeah, let's just do New Vegas 2. Don't do this remaster for New Vegas. Go straight to New Vegas 2, which is basically remastering the entire
But that's what we're
gameplay area.
We're going to see all of that, though. To me, it sounds like in the next, let's just say 5 years, we're going to get Fallout 3 remake. We're going to get Fallout New Vegas remake. We're going to get a Fallout spin-off, New Vegas 2, whatever they call it, and Fallout 5. That means 4 new products to keep us excited. And somewhere in there, we're going to get a Skyrim or a Elder Scrolls, I mean.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6.
Right? So that's 5 products right there. Plus, we're going to get some more DLC for Starfield.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
At least one.
Yeah.
So don't buy into all the doom and gloom. It's not over.
Yeah.
Bethesda's not dead.
Yep.
It's not ending. No, they're trying to make sure that all the products continue, and that's why they've done all this.
Yeah. Corporate restructuring.
Well, it's when you're spending more than you're making, things have to change.
Yep. So, I'm excited. And hopefully those that got canned, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt that most of them are great employees, and hopefully they find a new pathway. And sometimes I've seen cases where this happens, and they go on to form a new studio.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And make awesome new games.
Let go 10 of your best buddies that you were working with at a studio, and all of y'all sit around at a cup of coffee and cry for a day and go, we lost our job. Let's make our own jobs.
Yep.
We don't need bosses. We can be the bosses. And then there's a new studio, and they come up with an idea, and they start, looking for some funding to be able to fund the project, right? Everybody's got a little bit of savings, plus we can go talk to Zuckerberg or whoever, Musk. Hey, Elon, you want to invest in a new gaming studio? Sure, I love games. Okay, here's, however all of that works.
Yeah.
You go find some money, and that's going to support you for the next, say, year while you make the product, and then you have to start marketing it, and next thing you know, you've got a whole new franchise out there, a whole new IP that's got your own name on it.
Yeah.
And getting fired from Bethesda was probably the best thing that happened in your career.
Yeah.
Now you own a part of a studio instead of being an employee. That's how those things happen, right?
Yeah. Or you could be like Star Citizen and crowdfund it for years and years and years, and the game's always perpetually in a beta state, and it never is really a finished product.
Right.
That game sound the concept of that game does sound pretty awesome. Where I've never played it, but like where you have different
Well,
size ships and different size crews, and then each player on the ship does a specific role. Which if I understand the game correctly, that's amazing. Because then basically it's like, okay, you could have one person be the ship commander, you have one person being the literal pilot, you have one person being the manning the guns, you've got one person being the electronic
engineer.
countermeasures engineer.
Hmm.
So each of those players have to have basically a mini game that they're playing to have this whole big ship work.
Right.
So
Which sounds, I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I want
it's
to be the captain. There's only so many captain's roles.
yeah. Yeah, you want to be able to do everything just like we do here in
I want
Starfield.
to be the boss, and there's so many bosses, and
Yeah,
so that's why I play solo games.
yeah. Well, but see, that's why I like to have turrets on my ships, at least my larger ones. Well, turrets.
Hmm.
There's no
That
Class
ship
A
you
turrets,
got
but
in
there's Class B and C.
that ship
Oh
you
yeah,
have over here
we'll get to
is
that.
ginormous.
We'll get to that. But yeah, I like the turrets because it gives that feel. It's like, okay, these. Granted, yes, they're automated turrets, but my thought process is no, it's not automated. It's Barrett. He's handling the guns right now, right?
Right.
That's kind of how I headcanon it to make myself,
Hmm.
feel, and then like so when I don't know, every time I can have something automated happen on the ship, like there is the one skill that once you rank it out, I think it's shields at 4, or no, the ship repair. I think at rank 4 gives you some kind of a like things will randomly heal
Right.
themselves, like then that's
Automatically
so.
fully
My
repaired.
head canon
Hmm.
is that's one of my crew members, with an engineering
And then
bent.
swaps out a computer card.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I got to take out the shield card and put in the new one. Give me 5 seconds, Captain.
yep, yeah,
And all of a sudden your shields are back up. That's because you got the card in to turn the power back on.
exactly, yep. So, that's going to be a good segue here, actually. All right, so now that we're done talking about Starfield being alive, we're going to go ahead and transition into a bit of a sad note here. And it was sadly ironic because I was building the ship itself, but actor Sam Neill passed away. Jurassic Park is my favorite movie, which is probably the most well-known movie he's in. He had a good career. He's from New Zealand, and he died just I think it was on the 11th, just sometime in the past week. So definitely sad to see him go. He was only 71, I think, right? Yeah, or no, 47 to 26. So 80. He was late 70s. Okay.
Still
But
seems kind of young to
yeah,
me as I'm reaching up and kind of
yeah,
scratching 60, 78 doesn't seem
yeah.
that far away.
So as far as how Sam Neill relates to this podcast and Starfield is, back in the late 90s, he was in the movie Event Horizon, which is the name of the ship in the movie as well as the name of the movie, along with Lawrence Fishburne. And I don't want to spoil the movie here because it's a pretty cool movie. But the ship Event Horizon was. I'll say this because you would probably know this from the back of the ship is that it was this ship Event Horizon was designed to open a wormhole to travel to another solar system, right? But and so that's the whole design of the ship. So that the one picture I'm looking at right now is the one of the ship from the movie, and you can see Event Horizon and really written big on the front of it. So the front section of the ship here was where like the crew was, the life support, your basic thing. The back of the ship has those two like kind of weird wing looking things coming off of it, and it's kind of that bulbous, rounded, curved look to it. That's where the device that would make the wormhole is located. Now, to be clear, this is a sci-fi horror movie, so one of my favorites. But if horror is not your cup of tea, then you might want to skip it. Although, yeah, I don't know. I think it might
It's
be
space horror.
viewed.
That's different.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I recommend watching this movie, but anyway, so that
It's a good movie.
the idea is that well, I don't want to say that because that's a plot point, but if you guys have seen the movie, you'll know that little tunnel connecting the two, there's something very significant with that that happens later in the movie. But yeah, pretty cool design ship. And so I wanted to make this ship in the game. And oftentimes when I'm doing a ship in the game that's based off a franchise one, a lot of times most of the time I would say you can't really do a completely accurate recreation of it unless you're literally building your own, you're modding and you're making your own ship. Like I've seen the literal Millennium Falcon in here, but I also made my own version of it with, putting the habs together, and I've seen a lot of other good builds. So I call it Event Horizon 2, and all I did was I used the big Kontiki B cockpit and put that up front, but I covered it so that way it looks like it's more just kind of more of a blocky look to it. And the ship kind of went. I did like a month's worth of just kind of tweaking it here and there until I settled on the design. But the main couple mods I'm using in this are the Avantech, because of those big rings at the back. I have it down to just one ring now, but originally I had two, because one of the rings is the reactor.
There's one picture there. It looks like you've got triple ring. Oh no, that's two. Never mind.
Yeah.
You're right.
I only ever had two rings. One of them is the reactor, and one of them was just the structure piece. But I removed it just down to one ring in the final version of the ship. And so this ship is long. It's not quite double. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think it's a little shorter than that. Yeah, the one I was counting right there was actually not quite this. Let's see, this one is. Yeah, that's more accurate to the actual size. Actually, it's even shorter than that one now. But yeah, it's almost double the length of what you're legally or allowed to make in the vanilla game. So here,
if you look over in the chat, there's one picture where it's docked to the eye.
Oh yeah, that's the one where it shows how massive.
The eye.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a bit of a camera perspective thing. But
still.
Yeah,
that's an awesome shot. Yeah. You're like, holy smokes!
Yeah. And that was when I had the docker on the bottom of the ready room, but then I changed it to where the docker's now on the side, and so it'll dock sideways now to things. But I mean, it's a pretty good size ship, and it was fun making this thing. There's the one where there's the sunset where you see the back of the ship, and that's my Aquila outpost. That it was a coniferous coastline just a little bit northeast of Aquila City, and I landed there, and I landed a few times to see what the generator would. I'd land and then reload the save from space, then land to see what it would do. And sometimes I was able to get these awesome mountains right along the shore rather than being this long flat, going inland. And so that's a pretty cool spot for an outpost there. There's the failure to communicate mission is one of the best missions, where you have the long hallway that you can look out the window and see your ship docked. And so that's what I did. And I think that's, so that's what that is right there. And in fact, if you look at you can see the one picture where the ship is starting to fly away from a space station. That is the failure to communicate mission. A lot of people don't take the time to actually look at it, but if you zoom in on the right side, you can see the 3 docking spots, right? And the one on the far left is where you actually dock to. So when you go into the space station to kill the spacers, you fight your way to the right until you hit the building area on the far right, and then you go up the stairs, and then you walk back through that tunnel on the top, and that's where I took that one picture. And that's when you're going along that tunnel. That's before you get to the second area where you have the final fight with the rest of the spacers. You can get the loot and all that. It's a lot of fun making this ship. I do have my ship build video out for it. And let's see. So, in addition to a lot of Avantech stuff being used, I'm using Stroud Premium Edition because I have the habs up front. It's 4 wide, because usually if you have an even number wide, your cockpit's not going to be centered. But in the Stroud Premium Edition, they have a splitter where it can be it goes from 2 to 1, or 1 to 2, depending on the direction you have it. So I actually have 2 splitters on this because I have one splitter just before you go up into the bridge up front, and then I have another splitter that narrows it from 2 to 1 as you go into the back, where the tunnel is making its way back to the reactor and grab drive. So
Yep.
yeah.
You've got all that on a new video out, right?
Oh yeah. I just put that video out with the R.I.P. Sam Neill tribute. So
Number 47.
yeah, that's man, that's a rough one because Sam Neill, Jurassic Park being my favorite movie. I was preteen, early teen, something like that, right when that movie came out, and that was like I was at that age where like a scary movie was starting to get, I mean, I wouldn't say Jurassic Park's scary, but there's some suspense to it and kind of scary moments in it. But
Jurassic Park was where the Velociraptors came from.
oh yeah,
Was that the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was kind of spooky, when they're chasing the girl through the habitats and all, and she's hiding under the desk, and the thing comes up, and it's got its claw going tack 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 tack.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that was before they made him cool and like almost domesticated, where they're like running alongside the guy as he's on his motorcycle. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that wraps up this episode here. We are going to be doing a recording for the mission here, and we'll get that out probably within a day or two of this episode being released, because we're actually about to record that next. But we wanted to break these two up into 2 episodes, but yeah, I'm definitely glad Bethesda came out and Todd came out and clarified some of that stuff and gave us a little more content to chew on, and for the most part, our assumptions and interpretation of things was fairly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised.
Yep.
It's almost like we know what we're talking about. Yep. So, all right. Well,
maybe he did call me.
And you didn't
maybe
tell
Todd
me?
did call me.
You didn't tell me? Well, I had Pete Hines call me. Oh, wait, crap. No, I can't use him. He's not at Bethesda anymore. I can't use him.
Right.
So, all right,
Ashley
folks.
called you.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Speed dial.
Checking in, making sure it was all good with you.
Yep.
Before she pulled the trigger on the decisions. Yeah, right.
Oh, hey Todd, if you're ever creeping, you want to talk.
Drop in.
You want to talk to some guys off the books, off the record. I'll totally
just me and Kenny and our 200 favorite friends.
Yeah. Oh heck, if Todd wanted to keep it till on the down low and like we never talked to him, I would totally do it.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know some things, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, he's like, when it comes to like celebrities you want to sit down and have a beer with, he's in my top 5.
I would do that with Todd. Pete Hines seems like he'd be a pretty cool guy too to sit down and have a beer with. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, folks. Well, that takes care of this episode. We're going to be getting into the beginning of the Freestar Rangers quest line next. The quest Job Gone Wrong. So we'll dive into that. Other than that, folks, take care. We'll see you in the Starfield.
Then let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard.